All right. So before we get started with today's video, which I am incredibly excited about, I would like to welcome you to my newest setup, which look at it. Like, I'm so excited. It is still a work in progress. I am 100% sure the sound, everything is going to be even better once we finish building it, but this is what it's currently looking like. So welcome. Thank you for spending time with me and talking about this very particular topic, which is top 5 worst things about being a woman in a trading card game. There is a lot we have to talk about, and please, I would love for this video to be a discussion. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I really want this to be a polite back and forth. I think we can do that as a community to really have just a nice conversation, a constructive, polite conversation with arguments, thoughts, but just try and not harass and attack each other. So that's all I have to say. And we can get started. But before that, I just want to encourage you to like the video because it is definitely going to help with engagement, with the algorithm. And I just really want this to go to as many people as possible, to reach as many people as possible. So this topic can be discussed more because I don't think it's talked about enough, actually. So with that, let's jump into the first point on today's little list that I made, which is actually cheating. I would say cheating is one of the worst things you encounter when you're a woman playing a trading card game and facing off against a lot of men in the community. What happens is they try to cheat you simply because you are a woman. A lot of players assume your knowledge and your skill is just not at their level because of your gender, which is completely insane. What also happens is they will try to gaslight you. And this is very specific. What happens is they make a mistake, for example, and they'll try to go back on what they were saying, which effects they were declaring, which targets, whatever it may be, and kind of try and use some kind of complicated Yu-Gi-Oh language to confuse you. Just stop them in their tracks when they are trying to bullshit you and go back because they made a mistake. Stop them in their tracks and just let them know their communication is horrible and this will not fly with you, because I have faced off against a lot of players that will just try to do a lot of shady stuff simply because I'm a woman. People just don't want to pay costs, they don't want to target, they don't want to declare effects, they don't want to declare chain links. Like, it's actually crazy. They will try and just make up rules that don't exist. They will try and force rulings on you, thinking you're not going to call a judge or maybe even know the rulings yourself, because that is actually something that I had to do as a woman in Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, I am interested in rulings as well. However, what I had to do was I had to learn as much as I could just to prevent players from cheating me. Cheating. Just one word sums it up perfectly. It is an incredibly annoying thing you have to deal with when you're a woman in Yu-Gi-Oh! With that, let's move on to the next topic on today's list, which is not as much annoying, it is just straight up horrific. What we're going to be talking about is sexual harassment. Now, there is a lot of things that fall under this umbrella. It is frankly disgusting, the types of things people will do. I genuinely think some players have an issue with determining what personal space actually is. Players will try to touch you and stand very close to you when talking to you. They'll try and just find some kind of way to get into your presence and your personal space as close and personal as possible. And they'll just try and like caress your arm or just like literally talk to you and stand like this close to you. Just try and like explain, I don't know, what happened in their last match against Grand Maju. Like, I don't care. Some players kind of lose their shit, actually. I've had a couple very uncomfortable situations happened to me in which I didn't actually know how to even react because it just caught me off guard. But I was put in situations I should not have been put in, and I would not have been put in those situations if I was a man. And that is frankly very, very sad. Now, there are also some shy players that will not try and directly touch you. They will stare, however. And yes, you may be thinking, wow, that's not that horrible. When I look at some people and see the way they look at me, and I can tell, it's like, you can tell by their look, by the way they're acting, they are thinking of incredibly weird things. Some fantasies are happening in their head and they're just staring at body parts and just everything pretty much, because unfortunately, we as women are not going to dress in a sack for potatoes or something, like cover ourselves up just because we're going to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament to prevent those looks. Because I know you, at least some of you in the community, you're going to be like, oh, just don't dress like that, don't look like that. I think I should be able to play a card game and be part of a community in which I'm able to dress the way I want to and look the way I want to without getting a lot of unwarranted looks. And to me, that feels like a basic right. Obviously, we could go in depth in all of these topics, but I truly just want to get to all of the points and encourage you guys to talk in the comment section and exchange your opinion. And I guess I just want all of us to be better as a community. So with that, let's talk about the third topic on today's list, which is a bad look for our community, actually. It is stalking. And by that, I mean different things. Let's go in depth. So there are players at events that will try to be around you all the time, to the point where it gets weird, because I'm not dumb and I'm not blind. I can see you. And when you pass the same player, like the fifth or sixth time around, and there's always someone hanging around your vicinity, somewhere in the back, kind of like just there, it is odd. Because sometimes players will not approach you. They just stare and they just kind of hang out. But there are always people that cross the line and they don't just hang around. They try and seek your attention as best as they can, pretty much. Players will talk to you and just spew random shit just to be in your vicinity and just to be able to hear something out of you and for you to give them that attention, even if it's for 20 seconds or so. They'll try and come up to you and talk about their rounds and their deck and your deck choice and your side deck and what are you siding against that matchup? What are you doing there? Oh, I was just randomly around when you played your last match. I happened to see you play this and this and this and this in your side deck, but you were siding this for this matchup. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I'm like, it's like, there's always something new that people come up with. I'm sure people will go even further and try and find you on socials and just try and I cannot tell you the amount of times I played a remote regional and after a round, I will always have someone either in my DMs, either as a friend request. And it's like, I don't know, oh, what happened in that match? Or, our match was, it's like, just, I don't know, just try and be polite. It's a different vibe when you see two men talking after a match and exchanging their thoughts or whatever. And I have talked to people after a match because some people are actually polite and they are nice and they don't seem weird. So yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. That is something completely different from what other people do. So yes, I'll leave you with that. And let's jump to the next topic. It is actually kind of sad, but it is impossible to find friends. There are multiple reasons for that. Probably number one is, it would be a little easier if there were more women playing the game, because it's just a little easier for a woman to befriend a woman. I think that goes without saying. However, there aren't as many women playing. And yes, there are more and more in recent years, which is great. But I do think that we as a community just turn people off in general. And that goes for women as well, unfortunately. So not only are you unable to find women friends, even if you try and befriend a man and try to find a testing group, because that's mainly what I'm focusing on when trying to find friends in Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to test with you. I want to bounce ideas off of you. I want to just do big testing sessions. I want to watch each other play on DB. I want to build side decks, talk about side deck patterns, study new sets. It's like, I love being surrounded by Yu-Gi-Oh! I love receiving information. I love giving information if that's something I can do, but usually I just like to learn and I try to pick up as much knowledge as possible and I try to be like a sponge. And with that, I want to surround myself with people. And that is very tough to do when you are a woman, because a lot of players are always going to have some kind of agenda when they are trying to associate with you. And that is just extremely uncomfortable. And yeah, it is very tough to get lucky and find some nice, upstanding citizens that want to be your friends and just share the knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh! It is tough. And that just makes me really sad. Now with that, let's shift gears a bit. Let's not end on a negative note. Let's talk about something that's a little more funny, I guess. Fifth topic for today's list is going to be hygiene. Yes. Look, first of all, I know this doesn't have a lot to do with women or men. However, if you look at our community, if you face someone and they go and cut your deck and you look at their fingernails and they kind of look like you could plant flowers in the dirt, it's usually a man. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. And of course, that has to do with the fact that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game is predominantly played by men. So you're gonna find hygienic people and unhygienic people, and they're usually all going to be men because it's such a small amount of women playing. But it is never the woman that smells bad, that's dirty, that's got dirty fingernails. It's like, sometimes I see someone cutting my deck and I literally want to throw up. It is so bad. People stink. They're just nasty. And it does not make for a great playing experience, honestly. And I don't know, sometimes I don't even want to sit on a chair that someone sat on before me, because I can imagine their juices and everything. It's the stuff we make fun of all the time with my friends and my husband. It's a running joke. It is nasty. And the only thing you can do is laugh about it, because I don't know if people are actually going to fix that, because the hygiene doesn't really have anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're not clean in your day-to-day life, you're not gonna make sure you're clean to go to locals. I don't know. With this last one, I'm just kind of lost. It feels like a lost cause. But I still wanted to mention it because it does make for a bad playing experience, and that is what we're talking about today. So, with that being said, that is going to round off my video for today, but I could continue. Trust me, there are probably many more things, there are many more things to talk about when it comes to worst things about being a woman in a trading card game. But today I just decided to limit myself to those 5 points, and I would really love your thoughts and opinions. And I just wanted this video to be sort of lighthearted, and we can just laugh about it and joke about it and talk about it. But I still want us to learn something as a community, and hopefully my video helped with that. And again, it can also help more people if we spread this to enough people, and there can be changes that are made in making this particular trading card game better for women. That is definitely something I'm advocating for, and I would love it if you guys helped me with that. So please share all of your thoughts and opinions, and do make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. And yes, I'll catch you guys in the next video in the brand new setup that hopefully you like. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.